Anytime you are.
I was born a rainbow and made in a travel all over this land. I always find someone who says hi to someone that they don't recognize. I get by all the kindness of strangers, all the kindness of strangers. I get by. I don't know how I'd survive without all the strangers in my life. Yet I know that I'm not in control, and that life is its ebb and its flow. And I'm told there's something I can't see, and there's someone out there's looking out for me. I get by on the kindness of strangers, on the kindness of strangers. I get by. I don't know how I'd survive without all the strangers in my life. But here in life, well, there ain't no guarantees, and life isn't always as it seems. Don't give up, follow your dreams, and you will find out what I mean. I get by on the kindness of strangers, on the kindness of strangers. I get by. I don't know how I'd survive without all the strangers in my life, without all the strangers in my life. Thanks a lot, everybody. I want a little home on top of a hill where my dogs can roam, come and go as they will. And a little pond or a little stream, it's just a little home, it's a great big dream. It's gonna be quiet every night. We're gonna burn a fire and candlelight, sing a little song, burn off a little steam in a little home, in my great big dreams. In my little home, my little home, the little home in my great big dreams. Is a weeping willow tree hanging over the stream, in the little home in my great big dream. We're gonna watch the sun set through the trees. We're gonna listen for trains floating in the breeze. Up on a porch, it's a little swing, in the little home in my great big dreams. In my little home, my little home, the little home in my great big dreams. There's a weeping willow tree hanging over the stream, in the little home in my great big dreams. beside, waiting for me, is a pretty little woman, happy as can be. The kids are going to bed, there ain't no little screams. This is the happy little home, it's a great big dream. In my little home, my little home, a little home, my great big dream. There's a weeping willow tree hanging over the street. In the little home, my great big dreams. In my little home, my little home, a little home, my great big dreams. There's a weeping willow tree hanging over the street. In the little home, my great big dreams. Thanks a lot, everybody. My name is Nicholas James. Nicholas James Thomasma, that is. And I was born and raised right here in Grand Rapids, Michigan. I will say that when I was growing up, I always thought, man, when I'm 18, I'm out of here. And I did leave. Twice. And when I came back the second time, so if you're going back to Michigan, man, you really got to do the Michigan thing. And now I travel all over the state playing music in that bright orange 1973 Volkswagen bus. Listening to other people's stories and then making up my own as I go. This song here is about growing up right here. It's just another town, another day. This is just another place to play. And I didn't come here to stay. I came here to get away. And it's so funny to me. 'Cause everybody wants to be free. Yeah, they stand there like a tree, put roots in the ground, with family all around, build a house and buy a house and then settle down in their hometown. Well, my uncle once told me, kid, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. And if you know your history, what he meant was, my daddy was a lot like me. And I wonder what he thinks of me. If he's proud of who I've chosen to be. If he regrets giving up his dreams to raise a family. And it's so funny to me. 'Cause I am like my daddy, strong and tall like a tree. He put roots in the ground, with his family all around, built a house, bought a house, and then settled down. just won't tell you. So if you say that you've gotta go, my advice to you is go. But I'll tell you, as for me, there ain't no place I'd rather be. And it's so funny to me. So I always thought I'd leave. And I sat here like a tree. I got roots in the ground, got family all around, thinking about a house, maybe a house, maybe settling down in my hometown. In my hometown. In my hometown. Thank you so much. Well, as I said, I travel all over the state now, and I woke up this morning in in Northport, Michigan, North Suttons Bay, and there's a little town there called Maple City up in the Leelanau Peninsula as well, which is where I wrote this next song. I was staying on a farm with some friends, and it was a goat farm, but they also had chickens and ducks and a dog and a couple kids and some cats and a few geese. You notice I put the kids in with all the other animals, right? Because that's how that is. But one of the kids on the farm, they had this old guitar in the house, and it had all this rusty old strings on it. And I grabbed the guitar and I took the strings off, and I started putting new strings on it. And one of the kids on the farm, he come in, he goes, "What are you doing?" I was like, "Well, I'm putting new strings on this guitar." He goes, "Why?" And I was like, "Well, just in case somebody wants to play it." And then as I was putting the new strings on it, I started kind of strumming these chords. And a little bit later on that night, I came in the living room, and there he is, sitting in the living room with that guitar on his lap, strumming, trying to figure out how to play it. So that is why I put new strings on that guitar. I also happened to write this song. And every day remember to say that I love you. I love you. As long as you are mine, everything is fine. If it's alright, I'll kiss you goodnight until the end of time. And there'll be flowers in the garden and cats in the barn, dogs running free with the kids in the yard, and we'll dance in the moonlight. The fire keeps us warm here on the farm, here on the farm. by your side, along for the ride, as long as you'll let me. And there'll be flowers in the garden and cats in the barn, dogs running free with the kids in the yard, and we'll dance in the moonlight. The fire keeps us warm here on the farm, here on the farm. There'll be flowers in the garden and cats in the barn, dogs running free with the kids in the yard, and we'll dance in the moonlight. The fire keeps us warm here on the farm, here on the farm, here on our farm, here on our farm. Thanks so much, everybody. Most of these songs I played, all the songs I played so far are songs that I have written over the years. But my parents listened to a lot of great music when I was growing up, and so I was instilled with a love of music from the 60s and 70s, which might not surprise you for the guy who travels around in a bright orange 1973 Volkswagen bus. But I really love the singer-songwriters from that era, and my dad used to play guitar and sing when I was a kid, and so he used to play a bunch of those songs to me. So this is a song from one of my favorite singer-songwriters, Mr. Neil Young. Children sleeping, we could dream this night away. But there's a full moon rising, let's go dancing in the light. The music's playing, let's go out and feel the night. Because I'm still in love with you, I wanna see you dance again. Because I'm still in love with you. Watched you from afar. When we were lovers, I loved you with all of my heart. But now it's getting celebrate, see Man, it's beautiful out. It is. It's summer. It's hot, right? I get it. It's hot. It's supposed to be hot. It's summertime. This is. We live in Michigan, where all the water is. You know, that's the idea. It gets hot. You go to the beach, if you can. And I have a friend who says that there's no such thing as bad weather, but I have lived here my whole life and have experienced more than one tornado. And I would argue that tornadoes are bad weather. However, his point is that you have to be prepared when you live in Michigan. You have to be prepared for anything. Because, well, if you don't like the weather, wait a minute, as they say. And one time I was at a music festival with my little buddy Odin. He's about 3 years old at the time. And he says, "Uncle Nick, why does it rain?" And I said, "Well, Odin, sometimes it rains." Not today, sometimes it rains. So bring a poncho with you, come when the seasons change. It's just a part of where you're from. That's why we have boots, raincoats and suits. Sometimes it rains. Sometimes it's cold. So bring a sweatshirt if you come and just be bold. It doesn't have to ruin your fun. We have jackets and hats. We have gloves for that. Sometimes it's cold. But we've always got love, love, love. Yeah, we've always got love, love, love. Yes, we do. We've always got love, love, love to keep us warm. We've got love, love, love. Yeah, yeah, we've always got love, love, love. Yes, we do. We've always got love, love, love to keep us warm. Yeah, so the most common question that I get asked is, what year is it? That's what that's like the opening, that's like the icebreaker, which is great, because that means they want to know about the bus. And just so you know, it's a 1973. I've had it for almost 9 years now. And when I first got it, the very first time I took this bus out camping, I was in the bus, and I'm hanging out in the bus, and I hear somebody going, "Hey, Kelly Joe? Hey, Kelly Joe?" And I stuck my head out of the bus, and the guy's standing there, and he goes, "Oh, you are not Kelly Joe." And I was like, "No, but I bought this bus from a girl named Kelly Joe." And he goes, "I spent the summer of '99 in that bus." So that's Kelly Joe bus, or Kelly Joe's bus. I've been calling it Kelly Joe ever since, because it clearly had its own history with Kelly Joe, so. But I tell you what, if I ever get another bus, I'm gonna name it Ted, so that the license plate says, "Busted." So not all my songs are about Volkswagen buses, but this one is. We're going to the beach, so bring the kids along. We're gonna throw a little deuce, and maybe even bring the dog. We'll watch the sunset till it drops into the fog. And then we'll build a fire and we'll sing a bunch of songs. Hop on the bus, hop on the bandwagon, come along with us. You'll take the van again, hop on the bus. Bus life is better wherever I may roam. I'll always be home. life is better, so come and find your tribe. Look for those two little letters on the front and on the side. Bus life is better, everybody knows that the party never ends, forever goes the road. Hop on the bus, hop on the bandwagon, come along with us. We'll take the van again. Hop on the bus. Bus life is better, wherever I may roam, I'll always be home. Well, hop on the bus, on the bandwagon, take the bus. We'll take the van again. Hop on the bus. Bus life is better, wherever I may roam, I'll always be home. Wherever I may roam, I'll always be home. Well, the party never ends, and forever goes the road. Thanks, everybody. It's not all fun and games driving around in a Volkswagen bus. It's mostly fun and games, though. But the truth of the matter is, there are some things that you learn right away. Like the first thing I learned is that the bus can only go about 60 miles per hour max. Yeah, that's great. They got those 85 mile per hour speed limits in Texas, so I just don't go to Texas, but that's a whole nother story. I did, however, take the bus all the way out to California a few years ago, and people were like, "You're gonna drive that thing to California? What are you gonna do when it breaks down?" Which is rude, I might add. I was like, "What do you do when your car breaks down?" And you find a mechanic and you get it fixed and you get back on the road, right? That's what you do. And it turns out that they were right. And I broke down not once, not twice, not 3 times, 5 times along the way, including having to have the engine replaced out in San Francisco, California. I was cruising along on Highway 1 like my dream. I wanted to drive this up the coast of California. And I finally get to Highway 1 and I dropped a cylinder. And I start going up the mountains and I dropped the second cylinder. So I was going up the mountain about 20, 25 miles an hour, and then down the mountain about 65, 70 miles an hour, with my foot on the brake the whole time. And it's all cloudy, right? And so like you get to the top and it's beautiful and gorgeous, and then you start going down and poof, you disappear into the gray. You can't see anything. It was terrifying. So I finally make it through Big Sur. I get to San Francisco Bay Area and I pull over. I get online, and fortunately, there are a lot of hippies in the San Francisco Bay Area. So it wasn't cheap, but I was able to find somebody that could work on the bus, and we got a new engine, put the new engine in it, and I took off, headed for Michigan. I was like, I gotta get home as fast as possible. 55 miles an hour. And I decided I was gonna drive through the night, and so I stopped to get gas in the middle of the night in Lovelock, Nevada. There's nothing in Lovelock, Nevada, except for the gas station, and an auto parts store, and a diner. And the guy at the auto parts store goes, "This is a terrible place to break down. You're 60 miles from here. You're 70 miles from there. You're basically in the middle of nowhere. Is that your bus?" So, "Yeah, it's my bus." He goes, "What year is it?" Says 1973. He's like, "Yeah, I thought so. My dad's got like 12 of those things." I'm in the middle of nowhere in Lovelock, Nevada. I find a Volkswagen bus mechanic, and for $1.39, I got back on the road and started heading home to Michigan. But I never would have written this next song if it wasn't for that guy at the auto parts store. 60 miles from here, 70 miles from there. Guess this is the definition of the middle of nowhere. There's a diner with a waitress. Her name tag says Roseanne. She says if I could wait it out, she got a friend that could give me a hand. But you can't be in a rush when you're driving a Volkswagen bus. It'll take you where you wanna go, but you gotta take it slow. I've been traveling so long, I just want to get home. But you can't be in a rush when you're driving a Volkswagen bus. The sign says 75, I couldn't if I tried. I'm in the slow lane, but I feel your pain if we're going up a mountainside. And some people drive insane, but up ahead there's a passing lane. You could go around, you could just slow down, but to me, it's all the same. So you can't be in a rush when you're driving a Volkswagen bus. It'll take you where you wanna go, but you gotta take it slow. I've been traveling so long, I just want to get home. But you can't be in a rush when you're driving a Volkswagen bus. You see so much more when you slow down. There's a big old world, and it just keeps going around. Things start to look the same when you're gone too long. 'Cause honestly, there is no place like home. Well, I really don't know the places I will go. There's a lot to see, and if it's up to me, I'll keep rolling down the road. And life ain't about speed, there's way too much to see. Breaking down in a small town sometimes is a lesson you need. You can't be in a rush when you're driving a Volkswagen bus. It'll take you where you wanna go, but you gotta take it slow. I've been traveling so long, I just want to get home. But you can't be in a rush when you're driving a Volkswagen bus. I've been traveling so long, I just want to get home. But you can't be in a rush when you're driving a Volkswagen bus. So as I mentioned earlier, my dad used to play guitar and sing when I was a kid, you know, and he would have his friend come over and they would sing all kinds of good stuff, you know, music from the 60s and 70s like Simon and Garfunkel and James Taylor and Harry Chapin and Jim Croce. And my dad stopped playing guitar probably by the time I was a teenager. He didn't play at all. And then when I started playing guitar, he gave me his guitar, and also he gave me all his old songbooks. And we don't really use the songbook so much anymore because we have the internet now. But a couple years ago, the power went out at my house. And so I looked over, I'm sitting there playing guitar, and I look over on the shelf, and there's all my dad's old songbooks. And I reached over, and the first one that I grabbed was the Jim Croce songbook. So I'm gonna play a Jim Croce song for you now. Well, I know it's kinda late, I hope I didn't wait. What I got to say can't wait. Oh, you'd understand. Every time I tried to tell you, the words just came out wrong. So I'll have to say I love you in song. Yeah, I know it's kinda strange, but every time I'm near you, I just run out of things to say. Oh, you'd understand. 'Cause every time I try to tell you, the words just came out wrong. So I have to say I love you in a song. Every time the time was right, all the words just came out wrong. So I'd have to say I love you in a song. Oh, it's kinda late. I hope I didn't wake. Gotta say, can't wait. Oh, you'd understand. Every time I tried to tell you, the words just came out wrong. So I'll have to say I love you in a song. Every time I tried to tell you, the words just came out wrong. So I'll have to say I love you in a song. Yeah, thanks Jim Croce for that one. I actually come from a musical family. I get asked that a lot. Did I come from a musical family? And yes, absolutely I did. My grandmother was a pianist and a vocalist, and her father, my great-grandfather, was a vocalist as well. He graduated with a degree in vocal performance from the University of Nebraska and then toured the country in a barbershop quartet back in the 1940s or 50s. And which I didn't know until a few years ago, and I found his college degree in my grandmother's house, and she's like, oh yeah, he toured all over in a barbershop quartet. And I was like, my great-grandfather was a professional vocalist? So proud. But also, my grandparents were square dancers. On one side of my family, lots of musicians, but on the other side, not so many musicians. But all four of my grandparents were square dancers. And they used to take me and my brother out to these square dancing camping weekends. They both had the big RV trailers. And so we'd stay like Friday night in one RV with one set of grandparents, and Saturday night in the other RV, which at the time I thought was what was fun for us, but now I know it was a break for the grandparents. So they didn't have to spend the whole weekend. They each got a break. And it was really a gift to have the grandkids there the whole weekend. What I didn't know is that when we were like running around in between them, that was not a gift to them. Because square dancing, they like tell you the moves and then they're listening and responding. And I just thought, wow, that looks fun. I'm gonna go in there and do that. But they never once yelled at us. They never told us that we were doing anything wrong. They just let us dance, dance, dance. So every time I play this song, I think of my grandparents. My grandpa, he's 95, he keeps on dancing, he's still alive. My grandma, she's 92, she loves to dance, sing a song too. I don't know, but I've been told if you keep on dancing, you will never grow old. Come on, darling, put a pretty dress on, we're gonna go out tonight. Dance, 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 dance all night long. I'm a hard-working man, I'm a son of a gun. I've been working all week in the noonday sun. The woods in the kitchen, the pounds in the barn, I'm all cleaned up, my chores are all done. Take my hand and come along, let's go out and have some fun. Oh, come on, darling, put a pretty dress on, we're gonna go out tonight. Dance, 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 dance all night long. on, darling, don't you look that way. Don't you know when you smile that I've got to say you're my honey pumpkin lover and my heart's alive. And don't you wanna go out tonight? You're such a pretty lady, such a sweet girl. When you dance, it brightens my world. Come on, darling, put a pretty dress on. We're gonna go out tonight. Dance, 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 dance all night long. I gotta give me one of those little balls on the swing over there. I can do that during this song. Dance, 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 dance all night long. She was a level-headed dancer on the road to alcohol, and I was just a soldier on my way to Montreal. Oh, well, she pressed her chest against me. By the time the jukebox broke, she gave me a peck on the back of the neck. These are the words she spoke: blow up your teeth, throw away your papers, move to the country, build you a home, plant a little garden, eat a lot of peaches, try to find Jesus on your own. Sat there at the table and I acted real naive, for I knew that topless lady had something up her sleeve. Oh, she danced around the ballroom and she did what she could, all night long singing her songs, telling me what to do. Blow up your teeth, throw away your paper, move to the country, build you a home, plant a little garden, eat a lot of peaches, try to find Jesus on your own. I was young and hungry and about to leave that place. Just as I was leaving, West looks me in the face, says you must know the answers. I said no, but I'll give it a try. And to this very day we've been living our way. Here is the reason why. We blew up our TV, threw away our papers, we moved to the country, built us a home. We had a lot of children, we fed them on peaches. They all found Jesus on their own. That was a John Prine song. Before that, the Steve Miller Band. And now I'm gonna play another one of my songs for you. This comes from my new album. And I can say album because when I was growing up, we had record player. And then in the 1980s, the CDs came along. And my uncle had a huge sound system, CD player, and he had these big speakers. He put them right in the windows, turn them up real loud, and blast the classic rock. And I wanted to be like my uncle. And so I saved up several $100s, which was a huge feat for a third grader in the 1980s. And I bought a CD player, a big stereo system. And, you know, CDs now have come and gone, but I still have the record player, and I still have all my old records from when I was a kid. And it has always been a dream of mine to have my music on vinyl. And so for my latest album, I did release it on vinyl. So I do have it on as an album. You can officially say album now. But I also have it available on CD, and all my music is available online as well. And this is from the new album. It's called The One That Got Away. I've been thinking about the one that got away, and I've been trying to think of what I'd say if we ever crossed paths. How would I handle it? My guess is I'd be scared and slip away. see glimpses of her everywhere I go. She's in the audience at every show. She's in the rearview mirror, but I'm nowhere near her. I turn my head, she's always gone. What can I say? We were young. It's fair to say I was done. It seemed like there would always be another day. Things have changed, I'm getting old. It's lonely and I'm cold. And I'm thinking about the one that got away. Where she ended up, I don't know. I stopped following when I saw that photo of a diamond ring on a mountaintop. It nearly made my heart stop. She's better off, so I had to let her go. What can I say? We were young. It's fair to say I was done. It seemed like there would always be another day. Things have changed, I'm getting old. It's lonely and I'm cold. I'm thinking about the one that got away. One day I came across her at the store. She had a baby in her arms and was planning for a couple more. We hugged, but it felt wrong. The magic was all gone. I said it's nice to see you, but I gotta go. What can I say? We were young. It's fair to say I was done. It seemed like there would always be another day. Things have changed, I'm getting old. It's lonely and I'm cold. I'm thinking about the one that got away. What can I say? We were young. Looking back, we just begun. It seemed like there would always be another day. There's no promises we know. Some things you don't outgrow. I'm thinking about the one that got Well, thank you so much, everybody. It's my pleasure to be here. It's just my pleasure to be out singing songs and be amongst people again. Yes, it feels good. So thank you for coming out and enjoying the neighborhood and the community here. I want to say thanks to Stephen for running sound here and for inviting me as well.
Thanks
I
for
ended
coming.
up here. Thanks, Rosemary, for serving the food and slicing the pie for us as well. It is my pleasure, it truly is. In 2019, I spent a month in an artist in residence program in Harbor Beach, Michigan. And they gave me a cabin right on the shores of Lake Huron. And I was so excited, and I went, and within the first few days, there was a major storm, and the cabin flooded, and it went from being a cabin on the shores of Lake Huron to being a cabin in Lake Huron. And I was stranded there for about 2 days. I mean, I could have walked through the water, but it was cold, and also I was at an artist retreat, so I took that opportunity to really shut myself into that cabin. And after about 3 days, it became very clear to me I needed to go see people. I did not need a global pandemic to figure that out. I love being around people, and I am a strong proponent that if people can hate for no reason at all, then we can love for no reason at all. And I'm just gonna put love out there everywhere I go. And thank you. And as I said, I spent a month in Harbor Beach, Michigan writing songs. I wrote like 15 songs while I was there, and this was the last song that I wrote. And when I wrote this song, I felt like I did it. This is what I came here to do. And that's how I feel about this evening. I feel like I did it, and I'm so glad that you're here with me. And I'm so glad that I can share this song with you. This is called Love is Love. Love is love. People are people, just like that. It's just that simple. Open the door, ring the bell in the steeple. Love is love. People are people. Black or white, we're all shades of brown, and we're all the same. Deep down, and if we look different, that's okay, 'cause love is blind anyway. Love is love. People are people, just like they. It's just that simple. Open the door, ring the bell in the steeple. Love is love. People are people. Boys will be boys, or boys may be girls. There are all kinds of children in this world. You don't have to know or understand. Just remember, we're all human. Love is love. People are people, just like they. It's just that simple. Open the door, ring the bell in the steeple. Love is love. People are people. I know it's difficult to change, but there is no more room for hate. And when it's all said and done, you know everyone needs love. Top of the mountain, how you been? And I assure you, it's not just a dream. Brothers and sisters, we are all equal. Love is love. People are people. Love is love. People are people, just like they. It's just that simple. Open the door, ring the bell in the steeple. Love is love. People are people. Let me break it down. Let me make it simple. Love is love. Thank you very much, everybody. My name is Nicholas James.